the school. You both seem to know your way around pretty well. Well, I've been here since the start of high school, but only moved into the dormitories a year ago. Hanako joined at the start of high school as well, and moved into the dormitories when she did, if memory serves me right. That's right, since high school. So you've known each other since then? Since I moved, yes. Hanako lived next door to me, so it's only natural, right? Right. Yeah, of course. Living next to someone is probably reason enough to befriend them, though I'm guessing that Lily's blindness played a part in that as well. I can't imagine Hanako easily making friends with someone who has to deliberately avoid looking at her scars. With the immediate conversation dried up, we start to eat our lunch. It isn't long before the bells are signaling at the end of the lunch, signaling the end of the break. Like me, the girls pack up their lunches as efficiently as they set them down. I guess I better be off. Are you going to go with Isa, Hanako? Hanako looks at me for a second. I can see she's considering skipping class, maybe just to avoid walking to the classroom with me. Yes. I don't know what to think of it. Hanako really is delicate to the point of breaking if looked at the wrong way. Makes me a bit nervous too, but I push the feeling aside, trying to be as natural as I can. We should hurry then. Class has already started by the sound of it. Lily gives a nod of farewell as she bends down to take her cane. Hanako and I fling out before her. Fling out. What? We walk quickly down the empty halls to our respective classes. As we reach the door to Lily's 3-2 classroom, she turns towards me. Isa, thank you for sharing lunch with us today. My pleasure, Lily. And with that, we part ways, Lily entering her classroom, leaving Hanako and me to make her off to our own. She's still looking like she wants to run away. So, do you really want to go back to class now? Yes. Okay then. I feel like I should say something more to her, but it's hard to come up with anything that would be appropriate and safe enough. And Lily was right. The more time we spend out here, the more explaining we have to do. I open the rear door to class and walk in. Teacher looks up at me and opens his mouth to say something. However, as Hanako follows me in and closes the door, he simply nods to us and continues his lecture. It's the third time that Hanako has ever used her truancy, the Hanako has had her truancy practically ignored. There definitely is something going on here. We make our way to our seats and I notice that Misha and Suzu are both missing as well. Wonder if it's some form of informal agreement with the staff, or if it's a perk afforded to the unique students of the school. Trying to make as little disturbance as I can, I extract the relative textbooks from my bag and start catching up. The class goes on quietly. The teacher seems like an okay person despite the weird first impression I got, and the material is relatively interesting. However, the way he teaches is really bizarre. It's as if he expects that everyone is a natural genius. When the final bell sounds, I realize that there is still a lot of time left in the day, and I'm left wondering what to do. It's odd. At the hospital I had 24 hours a day of free time. Here, filing considerably short hours feels difficult. Everyone else leaves, and I'm left alone with the teacher. Muto is examining these assignment sheets we were working on earlier, marking them with a red ball pen. Raising his eyes from his papers briefly, he notices me and furrows his brow. What is it, Nakai? I jump at him addressing me, but I guess it's natural to spark some conversation since there's nobody else around. Nothing. Thinking about what I do after school. Teacher slowly puts the cap on his pen he's holding and arranges his papers into a stack, whacking it against his desk twice. He seems very methodical, and for a brief moment, I'm reminded of Shizune. The teacher is more unhurried and relaxed, much more routine. You have no plans? No, I considered joining a club, but I don't know what kind of club would interest me. Go observe a meeting of someone else's club. Might pique your interest. I guess. But I don't know how to continue from there. Muto looks at me in the way that makes me quickly want to take the words back to avoid a conversation. But I can't, so I have to forge ahead. I just don't know how to deal with people. I mean, the other students. I'm talking to people and everything, so it's not that I'd be isolated or anything. I just don't know what to think about disabilities. It's like, if feels that I'm being impolite if I pay attention to them, and it's weird to ignore them. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. The teacher scratches his cheek absent-mindedly, looking very unresponsive. These things are only an issue if you make them one. You can talk normally with someone even if they are blind or something. Try to look behind the superficial. There's not a single student here who isn't just a normal kid behind whatever they might seem at first glance. He says the same thing as Yuko did. I know they're right, but it's hard. How can you not consider, for example, Shizune's deafness? The only way to communicate with her is to talk through Misha. Or Hanukkah. It's not like or her face. But I'm interrupted by the door of the classroom suddenly slamming open. Teacher! Misha crashes in, hands straight and enthusiastic greeting, her voice loud and lively enough to wake the dead from their graves. She starts towards the teacher's desk with her bouncing step, hands energetically swinging with the rhythm. Motu, visibly dismayed at the interruption, and Misha in general slumps in his chair. Mikado? Misha stops in her tracks and looks around cluelessly, as if she's sensing from his tone that something's wrong, but has no idea what. Yes? We have talked about volume control before. Yes. But she doesn't lower her voice at all, and the teacher just rubs his eyes. So what is it? We need help. We're running out of supplies for the festival stands. This is a distress. She waves the pink slip of paper she's holding around. So go get more supplies from the art room. What's the problem with that? Plywood. Plywood is always the problem. Last time we wanted more, there was only a little. But that time we just took it all and went with it. Now there's like none left there. So do you know where there is some? I don't understand. How would I know? Shik-chan, the president thought that a teacher would know if there was plywood. Was she wrong? Muto looks like he's in great pain, frowning with his entire essence, and Misha doesn't get it at all. Looking at the two of them communicate is terrible. Like looking at a man being tortured by drilling his skull open while blasting pop music at full volume at the same time. I'm afraid I have no idea if there's any plywood in the school, let alone where it would be if there was any. What should I do? Perhaps try to find Mr. Namaya? I'm quite sure he would know where to find everything you need. You'd have to pry them from his cold, dead hands, but that's a different matter. I don't have time, we're so busy. She holds her head with both hands, looking as despairing as it's possible for a person like her without even noticing she crumples the nose she's holding against her hair. I shouldn't even be fetching these things, there's so much to do and we're falling behind the schedule. Muto looks at her gravely and then suddenly smiles. Smiling doesn't really fit his face. I think it'd be better if he didn't. I wonder if he could get some temporary help. He switches to staring at me focusedly, with a hard expression as if trying to say, go make some friends. Fuck. I guess I could give you a hand. Can't, thanks, Ichan, you're really nice. She pauses, does a double take, and then points at me with her finger yelping. It looks very puzzled. Think of it. What's Ichan doing here? Class is over, you should be having fun. We were just having a little chat. Oh no, it's not detention, is it? Are you in trouble, Ichan? No, I'm not. Is Ichan in trouble, teacher? No, he's not. Muto sighs deeply, and I feel that I have to help Misha to get her off the teacher's back. So what do you need? Here's a list. I can try to find the plywood from somewhere if there's none in the art room. She offers me the note she's holding. I take it, hesitating a bit. I said I'd help you, but this has no implications of whether I'm joining the council or not. Aw. Still, thanks, Ichan. Try to be quick. We're in the stall building streak now. We must hurry, hurry, hurry. I'm gonna keep going for a bit, but I'm probably gonna cut this into like 2 episodes. So, just because I think I'm on a roll, so I want to get as much content as I can. But first, holy shit, I need more coffee. Damn, there we go. She bounces out of the classroom, leaving me and the teacher looking at each other with something that feels like silent agreement. Well, there you have it, Nakai. You have something to do now. Please don't sound so smug. Looking at the list of the number of items ranging from paint to plywood, all written with small, neat handwriting that is undoubtedly Shizune's. I heave a sigh. I'll be going then. Waving the long list limply at the teacher, I exit to the hallway. The classrooms closest to ours are designated belonging to classes 3-1 and 3-2 on the right side, and 3-4 on the left side, each door looking exactly the same. Further down the corridor, still with identical doors, are rooms that I didn't even think were used for classes. I guess the art room is not a classroom as such. I carefully push open the furthest door and peek in. It's a classroom, but it seems rather badly kept or not in use. Am I in the right place? Desks and chairs are all around the room, a thin layer of dust settling on them. There are some easels in the corner, so at least this looks like the right place. The room is flush with sunlight from the big windows, shadows creeping all over the desks. Specks of dust are dancing in the stagnant air, making the beams of light almost invisible. Jokingly, I call into the empty room. Anybody home? Something catches my eye and I stop mid-sentence. Sitting on the desk is a short-haired girl, curiously wearing a boy's uniform, with a fork between her toes, a morsel of food stuck firmly on the end. This odd way of dining seems to be caused by her apparent lack of hands, for her presence here is what takes me back even more. How did I miss her before? She's sitting in the corner, very still, but I still somehow took her as a part of the furnishing or a statue at first glance. I'm not being too observant today as a whole. This girl seems to be frozen in place, staring at me with her huge eyes like a rabbit in headlights. She's staring at me, her mouth wide open, ready to accept the fork. Staring at her, my mouth wide open, suddenly remembering I didn't finish my sentence and trying to think if I should. This weird stalemate keeps us both stunned to silence, punctuated only by the wall clock ticking rhythmically. Hello. The girl stuffs the forkful in her mouth and is now staring at me expectantly while chewing. Was that her chewing? I can't tell. These headsets are weird. The headset's weird. This is a bit awkward. Hello. I think I was told to pick up some supplies from here. For some festival stalls, I think. I didn't think there would be someone here. There isn't. This is why. That's why I came here too. She picks up another forkful. Doesn't that mean you're here then? She raises her eyebrows as if she was suspecting my observation was false. You're pretty observant, I guess it does, but who are you? This girl's pretty straightforward, isn't she? I'm Nakai. He said Nakai. I just transferred you on Monday. I'm Rin. Tezuka Rin. Rin Tezuka. I won't shake hands with you, but at least we know who we are now. That's very nice. Her deadpan manner of talking makes it hard to determine whether she's joking around about shaking hands or not. Kinda bothers me joking about these matters doesn't feel appropriate at all. Well, I'm trying to figure out what's appropriate and whether this girl is, she seems to have lost interest in me and outgazing me, yearningly back at her food. Can I continue my lunch if you don't mind me? If you don't mind me, I won't mind you. If you need to get your stuff, the supplies are at the back. Go right ahead, but lunch, school's already over for the day. Or would you use then? There's no word for a meal you eat after lunch but before dinner, right? It bothers me very much too, but I don't really know what I should say. I don't think you're supposed to eat a meal between lunch and dinner to begin with. But I'm hungry now, and my delicious boxed lunch would go to waste otherwise. I have curry, it's very delicious. With much decisiveness, Rin once again picks up the fork between her toes, and with at least as much politeness, she points it straight at me. So Nakai, what brings you to this place? Like I said, I was told to look for these things. Out in school, from outside you look fine. What's your problem inside? I come to a full stop, opening my mouth, but not getting a word out. I can guess. I'm good at guessing, better than most people. And cuts me off before I can answer a question, or skirt around it somehow. I don't know which I would have done. I froze in front of the issue again. I haven't even told anyone here about my condition, or maybe it's only because it hasn't really come up. I do get the feeling that not making issues of this is part of the social code here, as the teacher said. I wonder if the people here could relate. Probably not any better than any normal person could. I can't relate to Shizune's circumstances or Lily's either. Naturally, while I go through this in my mind, Rin keeps considering that my condition, or what my condition could be, with an overtly contemplative look on her face. She puts her fork between her lips and leans back, looking at the ceiling as if the answer is written up there. A beam of light illuminates her face from the window side, creating a mask of dark shadow on the other side. I don't think it's anything in your head, and something in your guts would be boringly ordinary, like this lunch of mine, and less delicious. The problem must be in your pants. Comic relief. I love it. This messed up Sherlock Holmes kind of statement, and that sheer lack of tact is... And the sheer lack of tact it was delivered with catches me completely off guard, and I think I might have reeled back, even physically, as Rin's eyes widened in revelation and astonishment. So I was right, there's something wrong with your tackle, isn't there? Still partly in shock, but recognizing the need to reply something, I spit out the first thing I could think of. No, nothing like that. I have a heart problem. Erythemia. I said it, more like blurted it out, but I said it. The girl in front of me purses her lips together and lowers at me, looking very disappointed. How boring. Trouble in the pants would have been much more scandalous. What's with this reaction? I'm sorry to let you down. I forgive you. Just act like people and a person with, you know, that kind of problem would have been really great. Collect people? People with different problems. Huh. So you just, like, go around asking people what's wrong with them? Pretty much. I see. With little left to say, Rin resumes her lunch, and the conversation dies away, but I keep thinking about what she said. Oh, by the way, guys, Rin is the name of my computer. Fascinating, right? Anyway, I'll get back on track here. It's the first time I told anyone else about my condition. All the other people have either known about it already, or heard it from someone else. Or didn't need to know about it like every other student here, so far. I should have told it as a natural part of it. Should I have told it as a natural part of introductions? Is it expected of me? Hi, I'm Seo. He's out. I have a very serious heart condition. Is that how I'm supposed to go around introducing myself from now on? As if our disabilities would define us. What a disgusting thought. Or maybe this Tezuka girl just has no natural interest in such things. As I walk to the back of the room to pick up the items on Misha's list, a chance opens to study Rin from the corner of my eye. Her hair is a burnt auburn, almost orange, and cropped short. Long hair would probably be impossible with no arms. The boy's uniform and the lack of arms make her look very thin, almost scrawny. She's not particularly pretty except for her murky green eyes, which flicker restlessly from below her short bangs, even when she eats. The distance and the shadows make it seem like they don't reflect sunlight at all, but instead absorb it. Absorb all of it within them, like deep wells. She moves her feet almost as deftly as a normal person uses their arms. However, I can see how this sight could discomfort people, especially while eating. Makes me feel a bit uncomfortable at least. I hesitate to think about the word unnatural, but it's too late now, isn't it? I keep searching the cabins and shelf for Misha's things, but after enough time passes, the silence grows too uncomfortable, so I try to force some conversation out of this strange girl. So do you always eat alone and this late, or do you get the occasional visitor? Visitors, maybe you were my first occasional visitor, but I don't always eat alone either. Sometimes I eat with a certain person on the roof, if she's not horsing around. Horsing? She likes to do sports. Oh. And that's all I can think of to say. Both of us fall silent again. Ezra forks the last bit of her meal into her mouth. I look down at my haul and double check it with Misha's list. It seems I have everything except plywood. So I think I have all the things now. That's very nice for you. Don't feel obliged to stay. I was about to take a nap anyway. I need to do it. You need to do whatever you're going to do with that stuff, right? Anyway, right? Or perhaps you like to watch girls sleeping. I'm not sure what to make of this, but Rin looks serious. Even if I did, I think I have to be going. I'll catch you around, Tezuka. You can call me Rin. I feel that our relationship is at this point good enough to warrant this much. I was already turning to make my exit, but she draws me back in. Fine, then I'm Hiso. Then you are. Rin looks at me. Rin looks at me hard in the eyes, but that intimidating feeling you get when someone stares at you isn't there. It's like she's actually not looking at me at all. She blinks a couple of times, and I can't figure out why a pause like this just popped between us out of nowhere. See you later, Hiso. There's something like a tiny smile there in her face, maybe. Alright, I'm gonna end off there. I've been recording for a while, and I got a bunch of other shit to do too, so hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out, my bookings. Love you. Bye-bye.